Well, in a move which could irk the Congress, the Narendra Modi government has dissolved the Indira Gandhi National Centre for Arts Board. In fact, we just got to hear that the Union Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma has dissolved the IGNCA board and has also appointed a new 20-member team. Now, the central government has appointed Ram Bahadur Rai. He's going to be the next chairman of the IGNCA, the Indira Gandhi National Centre for Arts that was established in the memory of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and is visualized as a centre encompassing the study and experience of all the arts. Well, this is a big development that is coming in now, that a new board of 21 IGNCA members will be announced in the next couple of hours. Government targeting the Centre for Arts, and we're also getting to hear that the new board will also be announced in a couple of hours. We also have with us right now from the JDU, we have KC Tyagi on the phone line. Mr. Tyagi, thank you so much for speaking to us. How do you react to the news of the new board that will be put in place?
सबसे ज्यादा परिवर्तन कल्चरल विभाग में हुए हैं, चाहे वो नेशनल बुक ट्रस्ट हो, चाहे वो पुणे का संस्थान हो, चाहे जवाहरलाल नेहरू मेमोरियल लाइब्रेरी हो, और अब ये इंदिरा गांधी फाइन आर्ट जी। और श्री महेश शर्मा अनकल्चर्ड तरीके से काउंटर रिवोल्यूशन करने पर लगे हुए। ये क्रांति नहीं है, प्रति क्रांति है। और जो प्रतीक और जो देश के बड़े लोगों की आस्थाओं के केंद्र रहे हैं, उन पर पॉलिटिकल सर्टेन आइडियोलॉजी के लोगों को बैठा करके पुराने प्रतिबिंब जो हैं उनकी छवि धूमिल करने का प्रयास है। ऐसे पदों पर परंपराएं रही हैं। हालांकि कांग्रेस पार्टी भी कई बार अपनी मनमर्जी के पार्टी के लोगों को थोपती रही, लेकिन मेरा निष्पक्ष रूप से मानना है कि ऐसे पदों पर गैर राजनीतिक और गैर विचारधारा से जो लोग हैं हटे हुए, उन्हीं को स्थापित करना चाहिए। राम बहादुर राय जी देश के ख्याति प्राप्त जी और अच्छे और ईमानदार पत्रकारों में रहे हैं, लेकिन उनकी राजनीतिक प्रतिबद्धता का जो अतीत है वो संघ से जुड़ा हुआ है। लिहाजा किसी और व्यक्ति को ऐसे स्थान में बैठाते हैं तो ज्यादा अच्छे नतीजे निकलते हैं और वो प्रतिबद्धताओं से अलग होकर के काम करते हैं, ऐसा मेरा मानना है।
All right, Mr. KC Tyagi, thank you so much for your time. So KC Tyagi there saying from the JDU that this is an absolutely, controversial move by the Tourism Minister, Mahesh Sharma, who's also often been in the news for his very controversial comments. But now the decision that has been taken by him is to dissolve the board of the Indira Gandhi National Centre for the Arts. In fact, the new chairperson, the chairman who will be leading it, has also been announced, who is going to be Ram Bahadur Rai. Let's get in India Today's Brijesh Pandey for more on this. Brijesh, Mahesh Rangarajan was the first casualty of the so-called culture wars between the BJP and the Congress. And now we are seeing that the entire board of the IGNCA has been dissolved.
Well, the BJP is saying that what we have been getting from our sources within the ministry is that, they say that appointment of Mahesh Rangarajan was always shrouded in a degree of controversy, because they say that, his appointment had come only after the last UPA government had lost the election, and his was the last file that was cleared. They say that the intention of the UPA government was very clear on why they wanted to have Mahesh Rangarajan posted as Nehru Memorial, and they say that, and that the Congress is the last party which should come out and criticize the BJP or the BJP-led NDA government as about replacing people in the Premier or the Apex Cultural Association. So they are saying that the BJP is doing nothing wrong in it, and they are just making sure that the narrative which comes out of these institutions has both sides rather than just one.
Stay with me. We have from the JDU Pavan Verma. Mr. Verma, thank you so much for your time and speaking to us. How do you view this, this new decision, this decision to revamp the IGNCA and to completely dissolve the board and also appoint a new chairman who is going to be Ram Bahadur Rai? Mr. Pavan Verma, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try and get Mr. Pavan Verma to speak to us and give his reaction on this move in just a bit. But Executive Editor Javed Ansari is also with us. Javed, this is one move that will surely not go down too well with the Congress party.
Yes, indeed it will. And when Parliament resumes functioning, meets after the recess in the third week of this month, this will be one of those issues which will be taken up and taken up very vigorously by the opposition. That having been said, this is not something new that has happened. The previous governments have also been guilty of doing the same thing. However, the BJP, when it was in opposition, was extremely critical of this and had promised to rule, to be a party with a difference, to bring in a new governing culture. Now this certainly flies in the face of everything that the BJP claimed it stood for. The BJP has replaced the previous board with people who are considered to be loyalists, people who are considered to be more in tune with their line of thinking. While on the face of it, they are within their past to do so. The questions will be raised about the propriety as also the merit of some of those who've been chosen to this prestigious panel.
Okay, stay with me. Now we have Pavan Verma from the JDU. Mr. Verma, thank you so much for taking the time out. How do you respond to this decision taken by the Culture Ministry of completely dissolving the board and also appointing a new chairman to the IGNCA? Mr. Pavan Verma, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. My view is that governments do have the right to reconstitute a board. But the problem of BJP government currently is that it has a very strong, transparent, consistent, compelling ideological and often very narrow ideological base on which to do this. We have seen this in the case of the Jawaharlal Memorial Trust. We have seen this in the case of the Nehru Memorial Library.
Yes.
We have seen it in other cases as well. And my worry is that when you have a Ministry of Culture headed by my friend Dr. Mahesh Sharma,
Yes.
who actually says that Dr. Abdul Kalam was a good man in spite of being a Muslim and is still kept in the cabinet, and he then becomes the prime mover with the approval of the cabinet to make these changes. It shows, to my mind, an attempt to take over institutions and impose on them an ideology which is political, narrow, exclusionist, and we should therefore look upon this and resist these attempts, because I think the Indira Gandhi National Centre is not a party organization. It is not an RSS extension.
So
It must work as per its mandate.
Right.
And you can improve its function, but I don't believe it should be at the cost of liberal values or at cost of its objectivity and freedom and independent status.
So there's been a long-standing accusation, in fact, that has been made by the Congress party against the BJP of, them, attempting to deliberately saffronizing institutions across the country. Do you think that this perhaps is another example of that?
Well, let me say, it is my personal view that there is no doubt about the institutionalized, planned and systematic.
All right. I believe that we did have the phone line of the Culture Minister himself. We'll try and get him. But we also have from the JDU, Mr. Pavan Verma, who's speaking to us a short while back. Mr. Verma, my apologies to cut you short, but we were just hearing the Culture Minister giving an explanation, a clarification behind, the move and the decision to dissolve the board of the IGNCA. He says that it was time for a change. It was time to bring about, a certain bit of innovation into the IGNCA. Would you agree? Do you think perhaps that there was a genuine attempt to bring about a change in the IGNCA?
Yes, I'm not against change. I think institutions need to evolve and to change. But somehow things of this nature which have been and for a certain time. And I want to bring that in particular the focus of this ideology is culture and education. That is the prime focus, and it's what is happening in our university, where appointments are being made of people entirely associated with, it seems very often, particular ideology. And in the course of one vice chancellor makes another appointments of people of the same ideology. And so there is a deliberate agenda of putting in place people who do not necessarily have the good of the institution, but who are certainly proceeding in the pursuit of an ideology,
Yes.
which I believe is narrow, illiberal, and often exclusion.
Yes. All right, Mr. Pavan Verma, thank you so much for your time and speaking to us on India Today. Executive Editor Javed Ansari is also with us. Javed, I just heard the Culture Minister giving a clarification and the reasoning behind the decision of dissolving the board of the IGNCA. We have with us right now the Culture Minister Mahesh Sharma himself speaking to us. Sir, thank you so much for your time. There is a lot of controversy about, the decision to dissolve the board. Everyone who I have been speaking to, especially from the Congress, are raising, their eyebrows and are quite upset with this move. Your reaction?
So why should they be upset on this issue?
Because
This
they
is a
feel that
natural
there's an
process.
attempt at targeting institutions with the name.
After our government 2 years in power,
Yes.
and this change was called for, it is a natural process. We wanted to do something better, and we have kept a philanthropist on the head of this alma mater, Ram Bahadur Rai. He's a noted journalist. He's a Gandhian thought specialist. He's a disciple. He's a Babu Jayaprakash Narayan's thought disciplinary. So I think what changes we have brought, it is for a betterment of that organization. That organization has got almost 24 acres of the land in the Lutyens zone. Something more this government want to do. So it's a part of natural process of changes. It has
So
been,
you're calling it a natural process. You're
yes,
saying
yes.
that it
After
was
2 years
time
of our
for...
government in power, why people should make a hue and cry on this issue?
All right, but so there is a lot of hue and cry about the decision. Just stay with me. Our executive editor, Javed Ansari, would also like to put forth a few questions to you, sir.
Mr. Sharma, when the BJP was in the opposition, every time the Congress and other government made similar changes, you all were very critical of it. Now suddenly you are reverting to the same practice that the Congress was doing. Doesn't this fly in the face of everything that you stood for earlier?
Javed ji, the people of this country wanted a change. They awaited the change in the form of our Prime Minister to bring new changes, good governance and transparency and democratic values. So I think what is wrong in making these changes in these organizations where we want to do something better. And that too is after 2 years of our government in power. We have not done it within 7 days. Just have you forgotten what Manmohan Singh ji did for Nehru Memorial? On 16th May 2014, our government was in power. We were declared that the NDA government will rule this country. On 14th May, national holiday, the Manmohan Singh ji, that time Prime Minister, and the Culture Minister of that time, they signed that file in 1 day for designating a head of that institution for 12 to 14 years. So I think this should be taken in right spirit. It is a natural process.
My question is, nobody is questioning your right. What people are questioning is that those people who you've replaced and those people who you've appointed in their place are all people who have linkages to your party, who have linkages to a certain narrative, who are loyalists, and you are rewarding these people now.
If you go through the list, please label one person who is not expert in their field of wisdom. Whether it is literature, whether it is folk, whether it is dance, for which this organization has been made, not even a single person is out of that framework. You should appreciate that all those people of experts of this field and from the country have been selected to see this as a part of this board.
Mr. Sharma, what was the harm if the present board was allowed to complete its term? Why cut it short? What was the tearing hurry, sir?
See, I have said after 2 years of our government in power, definitely we should see the new faces also. Let's give chance to the new people also, those who want to much better.
Certainly, so allow that term to end and then bring in a new one.
Some changes are more required. Some changes are required in the organization. So what is wrong? It has been done in 2000. It has been done in 2004. It has been done in 2007. So it is nothing new out of the track. It's a part of the natural process. It has been done.
Are there any more changes in the offing, Mr. Sharma? Would you like to take us into? Would you like to take
this board is this is complete. If any changes will required at the right time, we'll take the decision. But at present, there are no anticipated changes. One more change is we have appointed Sushmita Pandey, Professor, as a National Monument Authority head, and that's all.
That's all.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Sharma, if I may just ask you, and rightly so, you said that you felt that there was a need for change, and they had already run its course, the board. But I wanted to ask you that after the exit of Mahesh Rangarajan, it was proposed that the top job at the organization should ideally only go to an eminent historian with a proven track record of research work on Nehruvian themes. Now, what I'm getting to hear is that no one really has replaced him after his exit. Many people who have spoken to are, concerned about the credibility of an institution when such changes are made to it.
See, we have taken this process of selection of a competent person for that post, and the process is on. Very shortly, the selection process will be over, and I think Nehru Memorial will get a director very shortly.
All right. And how would you respond to the Congress's accusation saying that there is a brazen and a deliberate attempt to reduce every institution in our country to suit a particular ideology?
See, Congress has ruled this country for decades.
Yes.
Have they not talked of their ideology? And what is wrong if our Prime Minister or our government wants to talk on our ideology? We have ideology. We want to work on that. We feel proud of saying that, yes, this is our ideology. And our ideology is nationalism. Our ideology is good governance. Our ideology is transparency. Our ideology is democratic system establishment.
So is there an attempt to propagate the BJP government's ideologies through educational institutions or others?
Why it should not be? Let me put a counter question to you. We have been elected by the people of this country on the basis of our ideology, and our ideology is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Our ideology is Sarvadharma Sambhav. Our ideology is we don't believe in caste, creed, and all this system. We don't talk of that politics, and we talk of on good governance and development. That is our ideology. What is wrong in talking of our ideology?
Mr. Sharma, you just spoke of the fact that we will have a head for Nehru Memorial soon. Could you tell us who all have been shortlisted?
You see, the selection process is in the process, so I think it is not the right time to tell you, but this process will be completed very shortly, and I think very shortly they will have a new director.
All right, and yes, Javed, if I just may quickly ask Mr. Mahesh Sharma, and then you could go ahead. There's also another acquisition against the government is that there is perhaps a deliberate attempt to target a particular legacy. Do you agree or disagree? Because it's coming soon after what happened in the Nehru Memorial.
See, what was the legacy? Was this legacy given when the country became independent? Was this legacy given to any particular family or any particular person? It was given to the people of this, after democratic, this legacy was given to the people of this country. Through a democratic means, let the country be run. And that's what we are doing. That's what our great Prime Minister is doing.
Right. Javed, if you may go ahead.
No, Dr. Sharma has made it absolutely clear. He is not at all apologetic about the fact. The government is well within the rights. And he says that soon we will have a new director for the Nehru Memorial.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Mahesh Sharma, thank you so much for your time and speaking to us on India Today. So we have a new board for the IGNCA. We have a new chairman also, IGNCA being the Indira Gandhi National Centre for Arts. And it is going to be chaired by Ram Bahadur Rai. Javed, but just taking from what Mr. Mahesh Sharma said, that what's wrong in appointing a new board? The government has a right to reconstitute a board. The government has a right to appoint members at their own discretion.
Well, so nobody is questioning the right. What people are questioning is the time and the people who've been chosen as replacements. The proper thing would have been to allow the board to complete its tenure and in due course then appoint replacements. They've done it midway through the tenure. But having said that, Mr. Sharma is right when he says that his is not the first government which has done it. Dr. Manmohan Singh's government did it. Before that, Deve Gowda's government did it. Previous Congress governments have done it. Mr. Vajpayee, when he was in power, did it. They changed political appointments. They changed governors. They changed people who had these various trusts. And this is what the BJP is. This is what Mr. Modi has chosen to do so. What people are also pointing to the fact is that when the BJP was in power, they were the first ones to raise their voice against these things, saying that if we ever get a chance, this will be a government with a difference. Now, the difference is fast being erased because they are doing exactly what they were opposed to, and this flies in the face of everything that they have stood for in the past.
And he has absolutely no qualms in admitting that, because if you heard, Javed, he did mention that what's the harm in, propagating or talking or spreading a certain ideology.
Well, absolutely. He's been totally unapologetic.
Yes.
In fact, when he gave Rahul Kanwal that interview in the wake of the Mahesh Rangarajan controversy, this is precisely what he said. He says, we have the mandate. People know what they were voting for. People know what we stand for, and they've given us the mandate. If they've given us the mandate, we will go ahead and implement our ideology. We will go ahead and make our choices. And he's unapologetic about making his choices.
Yes, absolutely. One quick question from you, Brijesh. Any more information as to who really will now be part of that all-new board that has been put in place, and also a little bit more on the chairman, please?
Well, the full list of all 20 members have come out. It consists people from various aspects, experts from various experts, be it Chand Prakash Dwivedi or Prasoon Joshi or Sonal Man Singh. So, all full list of 20 people who will be part of the new IGNCA team and board has come out. And as Mahesh Sharma was just saying it, the theory which is doing the round of Culture Ministry is that they're saying that the credentials of Ram Bahadur Rai, who is not only a senior journalist but he's a known Gandhi and also worked a lot on JP and Gandhi theory and ideology, is saying that he's a very renowned person in his field, and they feel that once IGNCA under him will be taken to new heights. And on most of these accusations which the Congress party is putting forward, especially the case of Mahesh Rangarajan, and as I've been saying for the last 1 hour, and which has just been again confirmed by Dr. Mahesh Sharma, is the fact that they say that the appointment of Mahesh Rangarajan was something which was done in sly by the Congress, just done 2 days before the new government was appointed or took oath of office. And they say that this is something which the government should not have done. And this is one of the big reasons why the appointment of Mahesh Rangarajan was challenged, and he was removed from Nehru Memorial. Avantika?
All right. Javed and Brijesh, thank you both so much for getting us the very latest updates and really talking about this story, giving us a lot of perspective on it. Big breaking news, and it is indeed one of the biggest steps forward for India's nuclear weapons program. India today can now confirm that the country has successfully tested its most ambitious weapon system.
The show is perfectly fine, it's healthy, it's normal, and it's cool, like always. Little baby called the iPhone SE has arrived in India, and we got our hands on it. We have told you a lot about the phone, reasons to buy it, and